So the next 50 minutes I'm going to explain how you can achieve more than that 60% forecast accuracy. People that have implemented our solution in general achieve over 90%. And there's an overwhelming evidence that forecasting will add millions to your bottom line. I'm familiar with a big CPG company that achieves savings in excess of 100 million per month. Okay, it's a big CPG company, I do know. I've been working within the supply chain area for over 30 years, and I've helped many organizations worldwide to achieve incredible benefits. My presentation will focus on a number of areas. I will tell you what's going on right now in the industry, and we come up with some examples. Heinz I will use as the main example, and the impact it has achieved. Okay. In my presentation I will focus on the tactical planning and the inventory optimization. Keep in mind that all the other areas like operational planning and strategic planning, SAS has got solutions as well. We span the complete supply chain, from customers, customer intelligence, marketing optimization, across the supply chain, up to suppliers, quality, warranty. We do anything in that particular area. But 15 minutes is not going to cover that all. So Gartner has done a study, and what has Gartner found? The three top priorities where organizations want to focus on is on leveraging the supply chain to drive revenue growth. The second topic is basically improving the business processes, and thirdly, the customer service. What are the three main obstacles in order to achieve that? The forecast accuracy and the demand variability, I believe is the right pronunciation, sorry, I'm giving my nationality away here. And the inability to synchronize the end-to-end supply chain. What's very important, and this is what most organizations are facing, is that how can you align your supply and your demand with your customer, increase or decrease in the need for particular items. A lack of collaboration between your customer and traveling that information through the supply chain to your supplier is of crucial importance in order to achieve high efficiencies. In order to understand this, we have incorporated in this particular presentation also a survey that has been done by the Industry Week. What they found is that the majority of the companies in the supply chain area are still using Excel to forecast, and they're using moving average as the main mathematical method. It's amazing, but in the 90s, 1999, the Institute of Business Forecast did a very similar survey. And just to paint a picture, at the end of the 90s, we had this very successful advanced planning and scheduling software companies like I2 Technologies and Numetrics. And in answer to the success of those particular organizations, the ERP vendors started to develop their own forecasting and supply chain solutions. In 1998, SAP came up with the APO solution. And what the survey found is that the majority of the organizations at that particular moment in time were using exponential smoothing. Exponential smoothing right now is right at the bottom of this particular survey. What that basically proves is that we're going backwards. So, this is probably far too small to read in the background, but I will explain what this basically says. So if you over-forecast, what does that happen in that case? You tie in capital, it's got a negative impact on your working capital, and ultimately your cash-to-cash cycle will be negatively influenced by that. So what you do with the excess inventory, you either move it around between locations in order to get rid of it, or you discount it yeah, which has got a negative impact on your margin. If you under forecast, then the impact is that you piss off your customers, to say it in plain English. And they likely are going to your competitors in order to achieve or to buy the goods. Yeah? And ultimately, what you might have to do is you might have to fly in the goods, which again has got a negative impact on your transport cost and ultimately on your margin. So going back to the Industry Week survey, so what they found is that a more accurate forecast accuracy, and if you add up the percentages, yeah, 3 to 5%, 0 to 2%, and 6 to 10%, and 11%, you will find that 2/3 actually expect a revenue growth in excess of 3%. If you translate it to, for instance, the back orders, half of them expect a 3% revenue growth from stockouts as well. So the next slide is basically talking about the cost reduction. Again, 2/3 expect a 3% reduction in inventory cost. I'd like to point out the graph on the side as well, and this is one of the things that we found with most of our implementations. Inventory reduction in excess of 50% is possible with our solutions. We've got many case studies telling that particular story. So let's talk about the forecast continuum. Right now, most organizations are doing what is called baselift forecasting. With other words, they cleanse all promotional data, all seasonal data out of the forecast in order to get the baseline forecast. They then dump it over the barrier to the sales and marketing department, and they ask them to tell what the uplift effect is of promotions. It's a judgmental process, and it doesn't add anything to the forecast accuracy. Recently there's a movement where people start to move into the historical trend forecasting in order to have a better sense of where the forecasts need to be. But ultimately where you need to be. Ultimately, where you want to be is the demand-driven forecasting. Demand-driven forecasting is the most advanced technology where SaaS can help you with. So what's the forecasting as it is right now? So you feed data in it, like sales promotion, unsupported, sales promotion, supported. And as you will find is that a lot of organizations are trying to combine sales promotions with seasonality in order to enhance that particular seasonality. They will try to cleanse out events and outliers. Events are like Halloween, Easter, Christmas, which are the most obvious ones, but there can be unique ones like the Olympic Games in London in 2012. And you have to analyze your data in order to know what the impact of that is. But again, most organizations cleanse that particular part of the data out in order to come up with that baseline forecasting, and as said, what they then do is they basically superimpose the promotions and the seasonality on top of it. If you use our system, the demand-driven planning and optimization solution, you don't have to cleanse the data. You can feed it and it will basically generate a forecast. The funny thing is that when we spoke to Heinz and we started analyzing the data, the one thing that we found is that ketchup and mustard were highly seasonal products. They actually confirmed that. And then we asked them, we said, why haven't you given us cleansed data? Because they basically have two data sets. So we asked them to give the uncleansed data, which we run through our system. And that generated a 4 to 10% uplift in forecast accuracy straight away. When we fed the whole of the raw data into the system, like we suggest here, we basically achieved a 25 to 50% uplift in forecast accuracy. Can you imagine what that does to your bottom line and to your inventory holdings? So most organizations are here. Yeah? They spend an enormous amount of time generating a forecast with their SAP system or JDA system or Oracle. In order to move up to the demand-driven data, yeah, and using what we call syndicated data, and we use a technique which is called multi-tier causal analysis. This is patented, yeah, and we use a number of other mathematical methods. We've got in total 25 patent paths within the DDPO solution. And that's how we can basically push a button and generate a forecast very, very quickly and very accurately. The approach that we took with Heinz was basically a three-step approach. Seasonal trend models is where we started. Then we added the calendar events and eventually the syndicated causal data, so the point of sales data. Because the point of sales data, what we can basically model is the effect of the point of sales data and the shipment data and how that moves in conjunctions to each other. We achieved a 25 to 50% reduction in forecasting error. It's not only us that make that particular statement. Gartner has made a very clear statement about this as well. The use of demand sensing technology leverages downstream data and pattern recognition combined with predictive analytics to provide a more accurate near-term forecasting. We do forecasting at daily level, by item, by ship address. And here are some of the examples. So Nestle, Waitrose are probably the most well-known ones. Coca-Cola and Milk are some of the others. Okay. I'm here now at the end of my presentation. Any questions that are there, please ask them. I will be around. I'd like to hand over to David Clark, who's going to talk about the Internet of Things. It's another topic where analytics can help. Keep in mind that SAS can help you much further than just with demand planning and optimization. Thank you.